what we're going to get next.
You know what we got to figure out first? Battlegrounds, baby.
This
Battleground number 4, Infernal Shrines.
Team Freedom, you know, we saw them on Sky Temple, a favorite of theirs. They're trying to, I don't know, they're trying to affect their win rate just a little bit. Now, Infernal Shrines and Sky Temple are Team Freedom's 2 most successful maps. Obviously, we got the Abathur Murky and a loss on that one. Can't really say it affects them too much. Infernal Shrines, though, maybe a little fine-tuning, maybe a little bit of fun. We're going to find out.
I think out of all the maps with, hey, what if this works? You know, creative strategies. This is one that you can definitely get away with it, probably some of the best. It doesn't cater to cheese because it lasts long and it's a slow played out map. But when it comes to offensive, you know, cheese or the slow macro style, you can cater to a little bit of everything. And that is without a doubt when it comes to the, you know, more wild compositions. I'm looking forward to Shrines as well. And we can always get ourselves a Kerrigan all in.
You know, that's something that generally we'd say is a bit wild, but something that we've seen from Team Freedom quite often, and something that even a team like Nomi at last year's midseason brawl that brought it to this battleground was the Diva on this Shrines. Play the divide and conquer. If you wanted to have a little bit of fun by also playing something that you're familiar with, Diva could definitely fit that. So curious if we get some Diva action.
Yeah, Team Freedom, you know, as we've said, they're one of the more prominent Diva teams, even though she's died out a little bit in Phase 2. May be willing to break it out here, but we can only, you know, only time will tell really here, J-How. Draft coming through, we can expect still the Maiev taken off. That's been the only consistent ban for these 2 teams between the ban phases.
Yeah, Medivh's made it through the last couple of games.
He was banned in Games 1, but he's made it through in Games 2 and 3.
Maiev being hovered. Seems likely. Just take away this and then figure out what to do after.
Taking a hot minute. If you don't go down that route, I mean, with how the drafts have gone today, there is no, unless you have a major counter to your cheese, which usually if you have to ban for your cheese, starting with the first ban, it's already bad cheese to begin with. But other than that, there's really no reason to ban anything other than objective strength. They fall down that same pattern. Team Freedom, do they want to rid of the Medivh?
Again, Simplicity can just do so much. We're going to see a Stukov ban there. So we might get a potential all-in composition like that Kerrigan that you spoke of. This is a map that you have a lot more playmaking potential, I think, when you're on the Kerrigan. Stukov puts that lurking arm down, has the swipe in front of you. You know, it's one of those things that's hard to dive into directly from. If you can get the flank, obviously it's much better against the Stukov. But again, both these teams very adept to playing the Kerrigan. I think even Zuna might even have a game on Kerrigan this year. So it's one of those things that if we were going to see it busted out, Tomb of the Spider Queen would be up there. Infernal Shrines would be 1A, 1B along with that. First pick Alex Straza there.
First pick Alex Straza. I don't have a word for that. You know, it's a thing. Surprising is probably the best way, the simplest way to put that one.
She's almost first alphabetical order. Maybe they're just going.
But Abathur would have been before. I would have rather taken the Abathur before that, I'll be honest.
Fear and Hanzo, we're going meta now.
Yeah, what is this? Except for the Alex, which even then, you could make the argument with the Stukov ban that it's worth the commitment with one of the supports, but the Alex over the Malfurion and committing to it before your 2-3, where you have the option to commit to something else more objectively powerful, still pick up the Alex, that is, again, a major adjustment, but it is not that foreign. It could be playing a bit more towards that meta. It's just interesting that now is the time and the place. Freedom gets their back against the wall, and suddenly maybe ego gets out a little bit and going like, nah, we aren't losing the series. And we can return a little bit more to normal. Lava Wave may be an option here, but Ragnaros, in fact, will be selected.
Yeah, Ragnaros and Alex Strauss on this battleground. If you get any bit of lead on those skeletal defenders in the early part, Ragnaros, Molten Core, Alex Strauss. And if you look back historically at the early part of this year, Alex Strauss, K1 Pro was one of the early adopters. There was a little bit of play around. I still remember the first time I saw him on, I believe it was Cursed Hollow. You're like, wait a minute, is this a thing? Like, I didn't expect this. He made excellent use of the Dragon Queen form, had very good control. Obviously, we know what it's done here on Infernal Shrines, her most popular battleground here in North America. So a bit more meta. The Ragnaros obviously something a little bit different.
Diablo ban coming out. Will we see a Garrosh response out from Simplicity, even though it is a map that he's a little bit lower in value? with the Diablo taken away. It's those have been some of the highest priority, and again, on this type of map and Battleground, you could see that being taken away post-second ban phase, but they don't commit to it, and I'm taking away the Malthael instead. One of those heroes that really hasn't shown for some time, hints at the idea of maybe committing to that Garrosh. Pretty curious ban considering how, you know, irrelevant Malthael has been as of late.
Yeah, he has not shown up much at all after being one of the most prominent heroes. And in North America, Dreadnought, I mean, he has shown himself very well, 60%, around 60% here in North America, while the rest of the world sitting far lower with that Malthael. And it was something that North America, it's actually below 50% globally. So North America was definitely carrying the load on the Malthael. They did show up to it at Western Clash, though, and realized that it did have some weaknesses, especially you look at that Stukov and things that could counter that. Now, Garrosh is kind of meta, so Malthael didn't have as much priority, although a lot of people have banned Malthael when they expect to have a Garrosh, just because that...
Do you hear that? Because I didn't. Probius.
I'm the voiceover for Probius. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, I didn't. Oh, baby. There it is, the Cho'gall.
I love it.
I was wondering where we were going to get with that. Alex, as high as it was, the Ragnaros for the macro problem in case you lose objectives.
Gazlo!
And the Gaz Lord. Our Jib operator's so happy right now. Gaz Master himself.
I mean, he's smiling. He's smiling. He is. Look, he's sitting at like level 130.
It was ridiculous, yeah.
He's trying to mouth it to me. I can't quite tell.
It's like
the lighting. So he is a Gazlo main. He will sit back and talk to us. We'll be eating lunch or something like that, preparing for the game, and he will just tell us about his Gazlo games. That's all he knows.
He's the Gaz Lord God here at HGC.
I call him Gaz Master.
And now he's going to get the Gaz Master himself in HGC. As we've got it here, ladies and gentlemen, it's a doozy. I will say, to be honest here, Simplicity, I know we're going out on a limb here, but this is a stretch of a composition. You know, Simplicity, they got wild, but it's like, okay, this is still fearful. We once in a while will get a, you know, all-in Cho'gall comps, even at the international level.
160. I just had it in my ear. 160. Gaz Master.
Gaz Master.
I mean, dude, he's probably like, oh, I've got to watch this. I mean, it's going to be... I'm trying to figure out where the... I mean, you could play Probius and Gazzo and just like, look, you can have the Shrine. We'll go do something else. I really wonder... Obviously, Alex Strauss, we talk about that big green circle of healing that she puts down. Maybe that's an opportunity for a little bit of Gravo Bomb action. Look, we know you're going to be going here for heals. Just do you have a follow-up?
We'll find out. We've got Game 4 ready here between Team Freedom and Simplicity. For me, Team Freedom's composition is what I like to call the Build-A-Village composition. Yeah. And it's really mainly because whenever you play Gazlo or you play Probius, the best way to think about, am I being optimal, is you got to ask yourself, where's my village? Okay, if you don't have,
what if they double down on the village?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's when both of them want to build a village, and whenever you build a village, you find your home, you feel comfortable, you feel good, and you're definitely a problem and annoying for your opponents. We have two of those heroes on the same composition. If they double down, the villages become towns. It's going to be a problem.
I'm excited to see it. I don't know. I mean, the one thing is, you could go into the wall even as Probius instead of going into that overcharge at level 10. And Cho'gall has a terrible time going into that. So although you do have the portal for the escapes and things like that, we'll see how that goes. Simzuna. All right, Dreadnought. Over under 3 deaths for Cho'gall.
I think they'll go under that.
Okay.
I think they'll go 2. That's my guess. If there was to be kind of death. To be honest with you, the only thing that makes me say that, though, is the lack of lethality in the composition of Team Freedom, more than it is the Cho'gall circumstances.
Probius, if you get caught in some of those warps... Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, the shield. And
Hosty is a god on the Div. Don't ever let him tell you differently. Probius, if you get caught in those warps and the explosions, they actually do a significant amount of damage. Infernal Shrines is probably one of the few, I guess, battlegrounds where you could say, look, there's going to be obvious chokes. There's going to be areas to where you know you could get value. So I am curious if they do choose to fight with the Probius, although Probius, his health pool is minuscule, especially going into that Cho'gall.
Yeah, you know it's a problem when he makes Valo look good. Power Slide coming out. Not going to really gain anything as the beefcake known as Simzuna. It's really
That's literally just his name.
I know, it makes me sad. we don't have like the SS Host C like we had it last time. It's just straight up, nope, standard Zuna name.
When we had LFM run it, it was LFMT, so it was like LFMT because it was like because TEA, it still had to have the M for the 4 letters, so it was like LFMT.
That was, you know, at least that one, it was a little spicy, a little tasty. Here, it's a bit more bland.
Yeah.
Like
Okay, so Gaz went the regen master at his level. I was wondering what he would go with at level 4 as Prismat. He's going to eat quite a bit of damage there. Instead, we go into the clockwork, getting that stacking quest. So every auto attack you have while you have a turret out, after you get 600 seconds of attacking, which sounds more ridiculous, you get the cooldown reduction on your level 3. I've argued many times into certain compositions if I wondered if the TNT value might actually be there at level 4 and then go into that later at 13 with the stun, but there's not a whole lot of stuns on the other side.
Also, with the same kind of thought process I was throwing out with the metaphor of the village, if you will, this helps with building your village. It increases the chances of that village being built and, you know, you finding your home. See Zugrug right now? See that trifecta of turrets? That's his home. That is the village. And as long as he's a part of it, he's got to feel comfortable. You take it down, he rebuilds it. We just moved the village. Now we need a Probius village sitting right behind that. And that very much could be, you know, all the shrine control you could hope for.
See how it goes. Is Zugrug making his home here on the top shrine? He does have a Malfurion who can give him Innervate. That's one of the things that if you do get that cooldown reduction, which you can get on your trait as well, is that it eventually costs a lot of mana. But if you've got a Malfurion that can give you mana and cooldown reduction, well, he just uses Innervate on Lutano.
TNT throws now. Power slide out. Zuna, a bit split here on that Cho'gall. Got to commit onto Lutano. Finds himself a bit of damage there. OC moves in with the portals, going to take it back. 18 skeletal defenders here for freedom. Probius and Ragnaros yet to show themselves towards this top shrine.
I am curious if we're going to get Robo Goblin. It might be a little bit too early to discuss that, but Robo Goblin auto attacks are actually some of the strongest auto attacks in the game.
Yeah. I want to say I think that makes the most sense just because how hard it is to hit Gravel Bomb effectively. But, I mean, let's be real here. Gravel Bomb is by far one of the best heroics in our game whenever done proper.
It's got a huge impact.
Yeah, it's like Graviton Surge ×2.
Let's see which talent we went with here at 7. So we're getting the multiple attacks. So the turrets now can attack multiple. The other one out there is the slow. Not opting for the slow, instead the multiple attacks. So see how that goes. The Punisher jumping over. Hosty just now getting out of there. They've got the Punisher over. Lutano forced to jump out. Zuna in trouble here.
He's going to be fine for now, at least after getting that shove over. Punisher leap coming through. After the fort falls, though, Freedom find themselves already 3/4 of a level ahead, dominating on the race to 10.
I will say, Cho'Gall's level 4 infinite questing stack. Hold on a second. Prismat in trouble. There's going to be a portal if he does make it over there. Infinite stacking. Once you get 20, it goes further and faster. Very, very strong. Sitting on 10 stacks currently, halfway there. If you want an update on Gazlo, sitting at 483, 493. That means he has 5 down. That's a lot of turrets.
Look at the village. Yep, look at Prismat. He sees the village. You can't deal with that. Now the attempted flank on the village. Yeah, that's not going to work out.
It requires an
This is
army.
why Gazlo is the best hero in the game. As long as you got a village. All right, you know, breaking and entering is also a thing.
Oh, feels bad, man. Probius, what build is he going here? He's kind of going a little bit all over the place. He gathered the minerals at level 1. That's been completed. Worker Rush gets the extra additional passive movement speed while in a power field and the cooldown reduction, trying to make sure he survives. And then Tower Defense at level 7. Whenever that cannon damages an enemy, it reduces the cooldown reduction. So trying to build his village as well as making sure that he can run and things like that.
What's the phrase? Something about to grow or to raise a child, it takes a village?
Yeah.
To play a game of Heroes of the Storm. To win on Infernal Shrines, it takes a village. It takes 2 of them. That's what Freedom says here today.
You know we got Robo Goblin.
We did.
I mean, Cho'Gall might think he's okay, and then he's gonna get the clamps.
Yeah, He's going to get the clamps.
I mean, Zogrug's going to walk up there, and he's like, give him the clamps.
And just be like, one-man wrecking crew, boys.
Yeah.
Show you what's up.
I believe.
Do we take a minute to appreciate the true heroic choice of this game, though? The old Dragon Strike. Classic Hanamura.
Mosh pit into Dragon Strike.
Yeah, you know.
It's like, look, I saw that planet cracker.
Yeah. Let's take the slower, much more unrealistic version of this.
It was buffed, but I can't remember if it was on this patch or not. It's not one of those things that you're like, oh, I got to know. Twisting Nether's out. The Twisting Nether, just in case the power slide comes out, it's one way to deal with it. Or, excuse me, in case the mosh pit comes out.
I'm a little disappointed, though, we didn't get that upheaval. Prismat with the trades up here. Even though, look, Tamara is so hard to give up. I just love upheaval so much, and it's so...
Especially if you're going Nether, right?
But it's so awkward on how it's coded, because it's like the Kerrigan combo, right? Like in the how the displacement functions is the distance from the Cho is on how it determines how far back. So like half the time they're behind you, half the time they're in front of you. Like it is so dope and so high impact. But then when you consider the base of, you know, having the stun, having the auto attack damage of Hammer at all points in time, makes it to where, you know, Gall gets all the kind of fireworks there with that Twisting Nether.
All right, Dreadnought, we've got everything ready to build a fort, to build a home.
The village.
The village is here. If Probius makes it out alive, Probius will come up and he'll add to this village. It will now be a fortress. The fortress here at the middle. The quest was completed for Zugrug. Let's see. Look at the turrets that go down. But Molten Core is out. That actually scared me a little.
Yeah, behold Ragnaros. You know, he's trying to stop the village from being set up. Zugrug's doing his best, though. Still got 2 turrets stopping the advance. The third one's going to be dropped there. Probius now looking to make a move in. Cho'gall looking to get that split.
Dragon Queen is out. 23, 26 have already been picked up. They're going for it. There's the Twisting Nether. He is stuck in those roots. Zuna, Zuna, they get it. There's going to be the damage. The dragon has been unleashed as it tickles all the members as it passes by.
Yeah, Zugrug now on full retreat here. The Sulfurous Smash coming down. Ends up getting all the bonus damage there from Prismaticus, and 37 Skeletal Defenders still here for Team Freedom. Can they get 2 more? Lutano throws it over the wall, but the Twilight Dream actually secures it there for Collusion. Punisher now looking to join the fight. 2 members down, but Freedom winning the objective.
I don't think you're making it away from the Cho'gall, though. See, do get the takedown, take a little bit of damage. The Shaman Camp will need to be responded to, although Probius should be able to handle that. But the Punisher ended up being picked up by Team Freedom despite a few losses in the middle of that.
Punisher going to be dealt with here on mid. Nothing to be gained for Team Freedom. So what can they make happen afterwards? And normally I'd be like, well, you know, what type of rotations do we want to see from them? But they've got, again, this kind of well-established village composition that really can't be too mobile. When they set up, they have to set up pretty much a minute in advance. And realistically, that's kind of hard to do at this point in time. Like, ideally, you'd be like, okay, well, one of the forts, which they're trying to make happen, we have Gazelle on one half, Probius on the other with the 2-man split. But realistically, it's going to be just wait for the next objective, maybe catch yourself out of Prismat, who is definitely going to be out too far for any kind of, you know, miracle save out of Medivh.
You know, when Sulfurous Smash was on a much shorter cooldown, that was okay. When I think it's a little bit longer cooldown now. That's not going to be available for a bit. We do see a huge push that will be happening here in the top lane momentarily. Gazelle also, you can activate his Heroic. Make sure that you get that extra movement speed and that spell armor. You saw him get away from Hosty just before that, so making good use of that. The one thing that we have to keep in mind, despite all the quests and the talents, the number one thing is the questing and the cooldown reduction. Runic feedback. For every enemy you hit, not heroes, not minions, but enemy you hit. So around the shrines, you'll have mega cooldown reduction on that rune bomb. So you can just cast it out over and over and over again. We're sitting on 18 stacks on that bombs away. The minute it hits that 20, we're talking about fast stacks. A lot of potential around the shrines.
One adjustment as well in talents that we've seen to deal with the Cho'gall, or at least enable that Cho'gall, is the Enduring Will picked up from Medivh at 13. So if we see currently it's at 464 damage absorbed with the Force of Will, then resets or lowers the cooldown of it by 3 seconds, having that higher chance uptime because there's going to be the all-in Zuna composition.
Bombs away has now been completed.
See if they're going to be able to get enough resets on their shielding and such. to turn this game around. Because with this 16, the Gazlo being able to trade into the Ragnaros 4-1 split kind of clear, it's really just Freedom wailing away slowly but surely with this top half of the map. I'm surprised they don't commit a little bit longer to that, to be honest.
I think they realize, Dread, it doesn't take a village to build a man. It takes a goblin to build a village. That is officially what we've established. Zugrug is going to try and clean up the Impalers there. But they need to back out, start building that village so they can prepare for the potential onslaught. Again, at 16, you also get the silence on that rune bomb. So you get those fast rune bombs going in there, but then you potentially get the silence for every one that explodes onto. So very terrifying as a Cho'gall post-level 13-16, and we're going to see if we get the effects of that. It's the next shrine here, 20 seconds away.
So I'm going to go ahead and pose this question just because based on the last team fight that we saw from Team Freedom, it didn't look too hot. With this village being posted up and being here in time for this, right? Probius already set up. Look at this. Oh, baby. Look at Gazlo throwing it down. Double village being established here. How do they really stop Simplicity from walking up and just not caring?
I mean, it's a Cho'gall, so probably not. There's a Medivh. He's got a portal in and out, but we do see them establish an early lead. Does Team Freedom. They establish the early lead.
Here we go.
Comes the portal. Twisting Nether's out. We're going to see the power slide over. Yoda, will he commit? Poor little Probius. Can he stay alive? Oh! Sulfurous Smash doesn't matter. Down goes Nasmus. Rune Bomb goes out, and all of a sudden we're looking at a Cho'gall coming in doing work.
Yeah, Zuno here, man, is just like the big bad wolf or something. He's just blowing the house down, just right through those doors going, nope, this Probius 1 versus 4, don't care. Dragon Strike gets thrown through. 34-38 skeletal defenders. Team Freedom is going to win the objective. Collusion not able to hit the Twilight Dream before he goes down. Prismat moves up to make sure that Punisher doesn't leap onto him. 3 members of Team Freedom dead. Simplicity.
I mean, Simplicity gets the team fight. And you would argue, okay, they could go and they could chase kills, then get structures down. But not only is there a Punisher.
I was just giving credit to the Shrink Ray use. Not too often is that used offensively.
But now, not only do they have to take care of the Punisher, there's also a Shaman camp that's pushing in the top lane. So they have assaults on both fronts. So Freedom is still, they're winning out on this trade despite being down in kills.
Simplicity's got to find a way to be able to get there before the village is set up. That's the only way. It gives them too big of an advantage. They get 20, 20 to 30, then they can close in the last 10. They lose the fight. And I mean, to be honest with you, it's really not even making that big of an impact. Like, I asked the question, how do they stop this from being a problem, right? Like, how in the world do you stop Simplicity from just tearing down the walls and going, I don't care how long you've established, we're still just going to kill you? And they
should have gone the wall at level 10 for Probius, although...
Nullgate? Are you kidding me, mate?
Although, Nasmus not going to be for long. You went the unstoppable on that, that level 16 did show.
Just let him go, man.
Yeah. That was such a depressing death.
It really was. Just, and then you just have him sitting there echoing, you know, he was once the victor of Legacy of the Void, now merely a ragdoll on the Infernal Shrines board.
All right, 18-18, slight lead in favor of Simplicity. A lot of easy experience if they want to push forward here. It's going to start with this gate. 24 stacks on that bombs away. Uncapped questing talent. We'll see how far that goes or whether it even makes it anywhere. Everything else pretty much completed across the board. Level 4 for Malfurion. Just sitting at 11 stacks so far.
Simplicity ends up getting the invade over this camp. Cho'gall kind of doing his own thing, but that's exactly what you should be doing as a Cho'gall, especially with the Medivh all-in composition that they have. It's pretty much Cho'gall, you buy time, I throw out the shields, and we're going to trade up on everything. It's a bit of like a 3-2 split, really. They kind of almost Vikings-esque in how you play around them, just rather than the 1-4 with the Vikings soaking all the other lanes. It's in that 3-2 kind of manner.
If you go Vikings and a Samuro, nah, it's too many. I was going to say, how do you ever get a 3-2-3
It's a Medivac's worst nightmare right there. For anybody who doesn't know.
3-2-3 split?
Well, it's just mainly because each one of the Vikings takes up a character model, which actually consumes a slot within the Medivac. They're each individually coded. It makes it a little bit awkward when you're like, yeah, let's all go. And then you're like, wait a minute, we can't all go. Why?
Play again. K1 Pro not able to find the Probius in the bush. Level 20 picked up here by Simplicity, waiting to lock in their heroics. We'll see how this goes. Shrine active. Team Freedom still needs 20 before they can make their assault on there to build that village. There's a wave mid. Have we had a single mosh pit used yet?
I don't believe so.
I don't think there's been an opportunity.
Yeah, to be honest with you, though, it's because the village doors are just shredded so fast. The gates, they have to find a way to make it a fortress, as you said before. Here we go. Attempt number 3 at the fortress. Freedom. They're here. They're posted up. They aren't 20 yet, but they will get it with that kind of trickle-in experience. Gazlo, ripping apart there. Look at that. So much damage out from those turrets.
Well, Cho'gall is in deep here.
Here we go. Heroic used from Probius. We got the Dragon Strike too.
Twisting Nethers out, but they're trying to get out of here. Still a lead here for Team Freedom as Cho'gall and team. In comes the Cleansing Flame, gonna keep the Cho'gall alive as Lutano doing a lot of damage. Lead still here in favor of Team Freedom. We'll see if they can get a lockdown, see if they can get a kill of their own. Zuna again, Zuna going through. Oh! The interrupt on the mosh pit.
He went in for it, but wasn't able to get it there. Nice job by Hosty with that polybomb. Cho'gall trying to get the track down. 4 more skeletal defenders needed. The Sulfura Smash not going to land onto Yoda. 1 more needed, and the Punisher will be achieved here for Team Freedom. Zugrug ends up picking up that for him. Yoda trying to kite around, getting chased down by Zuna.
Collusion has done such a good job. Look at the health bars on the side of Team Freedom. They're all full. Outside of Yoda.
The village was not torn down this time, J-Hal.
It wasn't torn down, and we're looking at another Punisher.
But this one's going to make a lot more happen because when that village is kind of, located here towards the middle, oh man, it's going to make a lot happen. This comp is actually terrifying in the world of sieging. It actually is. Punisher over the wall. Dragon Strike going to be thrown out onto Prismat, weaken that a little bit out of that Molten Core.
Dragon Strike used. That's why it was picked up to deal with the Molten Core. Did go heroic difficulty. Yoda gets the power slide in. Not an opportunity to pull the trigger, though. In goes Zuna, looking to see if they can get a kill. Lutano forced to roll back. As the bomb goes out.
But the village still sieging up there. Now Zuna, wow, going to get value out of the Enduring Will. Able to get the shove over. The mosh pit still the damage locking him down. Another shield coming out from the Medivh, but the damage is going to be there. 3 members of Simplicity end up dropping. And Team Freedom, the only fight, the only kills they have managed to achieve have been here at the 19-minute mark, but it may be enough to take this to a Game 5.
I think it's done it. The shields have fallen. There's almost no defense here as it is a Medivh and an Alex Strauss, and it's not enough, and that's going to be Team Freedom taking us to a game number 5, confirming that the specialist meta was never dead. Just nobody ever used it.
How to take yourself to the top of North America. You just build a village, build a home. There he is, the Gaz Lord himself, the Gaz Masters profile, ladies and gentlemen. Giving you, he had to flex it. He had to flex his Gazlo, his history of Gazlo, man.
The entire time, like I'm sitting over here on the corner of my eye, I see something being set up. He's so proud that he's like, I'm letting it be known. I am the Gaz Master.
He is the Gaz Master, and he is so proud of Nasmus and the work they were able to make happen there in that last game with that beautiful Gazlo. We have a Game 5 here, J-Hal. Man, I didn't think they had a shot, honestly, with how fast the Medivh Cho'gall was just coming in there, ripping through. Again, that kind of front wall I was using with that metaphor, but the last fight, they held their own, got the objective.
Well, you could see they finally got the mosh pit, and then the portal wore off right as he came out of that dance party, not able to make the escape, and from then on, it was all over. But Probius, Gazlo, I mean,